I'm Reed Nevins. I'm the Mississippi State 4-H Environmental Science Specialist, and today we'll be discussing the State Shooting Sports Championship event, muzzleloader event. And I have Miss Vicki Gannan from Leake County. She's a level 2 muzzleloader, level 2 pistol, but today she's going to be discussing muzzleloader. So,
Well, thank you for having me, Reed. So,
thank you.
one thing about muzzleloader, it is so fun, and I urge everyone to get involved with it. As we're moving from our junior event into our senior event or our state shoot, juniors will not be allowed. This is specifically for ages 14 to 18-year-olds. And there's going to be some changes, and you need to be prepared for them. Now, there's no changes in this. You still got to have your safety glasses. Safety glasses are a must and required. Always make sure, and if you have the tinted ones and the sun's out or it's cloudy, you might want to be thinking about if you want the clear ones, the yellow ones, or the ones for the sun. Also, ear protection. We must have ear protection. Now, this is just some of the simple foamies, Reed, but you can use also the earmuffs. Now, one thing I do discourage, and you could be disqualified for, is we cannot have like the iPods or some of the other things that noise canceling, the electronic devices that stick in your ears. They have to be rated now to do away with the decimals that these firearms fire. So just remember, when selecting your earplugs, you want to make sure you have the correct type. Now, I hope all of y'all had a great time at district, but now we're stepping on up and we're beginning to shoot with the big boys and girls. So, one thing about our muzzleloader is you fired a couple of shots or, 10, 15 shots at district, but now we're going to move on up. I would suggest you had to have pre-measured loads and a maximum of 60 grains per shot. And you're going to need 40 pre-measured loads. You're going to need more than that because you're going to have cider shots and you might need some other filing shots and so forth. So I would suggest to be getting me some film canisters, pill bottles, or you can buy the little things that you load it in. So for at least 40, more if you want your sighting and your filing shots. Also on your caps, you want to be able to have the type of caps that you shoot with your firearm. So make sure they fit. Now, when we're going to state competition, couple of the ground rules here that I'm going to tell you about is you're usually not used to shooting 40 shots with your muzzleloader. Now, you will be given plenty of time, and we'll cover that. But most of the time, we go out and shoot 5 or 6, 7 shots or whatever, and we'll run a patch and clean it and so forth. But when you start shooting this many shots, make sure you shoot this muzzleloader at home enough times to know when you need to run a dry patch or need to run a cleaning patch and so forth through it, because you're going to run into some technical difficulties if you don't know the adequate times to run a patch in your muzzleloader. Now, let's look at a little bit of the targets we're going to be shooting. Let's start with our bottles. Now, this is our bottles target that we'll be shooting. And notice the top bottle, this will be your cider target. Now, where in district you shot 1 at each of these bottles, at state you will be shooting 2 at each of them. And the scoring system is located on here. We won't go over all that. You should have already known that by now, but it is up here, and you will have a range officer to be checking that with you. So this is our bottles, 2 shots at each one. So this will be 10 shots, and you will have 80 minutes running time to shoot this. And the critters. Do you mind holding up the critters?
I will. At 25 yards.
At 25 yards, correct. Now, that's 80 minutes. Usually we divide it 40 into each one of them. Same thing. District, you shot 1 at each of the critters. Now we're moving on to state competition. You're going to shoot 2 at each of the critters. So remember I said 80 minutes, and that's usually 40 for bottles and 40 for critters at 25 yards. So get out there and get to practicing. Then we have another one we have to shoot. After we get shoot 25, we're going to move back to 50 yards. And at 50 yards, we're going to shoot the bullseye. And we're going to be shooting 20 shots standing at our bullseye. You'll have 80 minutes to shoot that, which seems like a long time. But when you start talking about cleaning and running into issues and stuff, time can get away from you. Now, if you do not have enough preloads, always remember, raise your hand, talk to your range officer. They can set up a table, and you may have to go back and load a few more loads. I know that's a lot to ask when you're coming to state competition, but this bullseye and your range officer has the ability that if you are a really good shooter and it's getting shot up, that he or she may let you change halfway through and get another target, because we want to make sure you get the best score off of these targets. So, you can use factory powder or black powder. Just make sure, look in the rule book, make sure it is recommended. Let's see, let me think what else might. Optics. Now, a lot of times at district, especially some of our juniors can shoot on sticks and use optics and so forth. But now, when it comes to our state competition, you're going to have metallic sights. Everybody is going to be on the same level. Now, you can use our regular muzzleloader. You can use a flintlock, or you can use an inline. But everybody's going to be on the same level playing field because they're going to be using metallic sights. Won't be any chances of
That's for all the different.
That's for all the different firearms. Whichever one you're using, you're going to have to use a metallic sight.
Okay.
Now, Reed's going to tell you a little bit more about what all you have to have far as before you can come compete.
All right. So first and foremost, so this is for senior 4-Hers only, 14, 18-year-olds, 4-H age. You have to have a minimum of 2 additional hours of practice with a certified volunteer instructor coach. So a minimum of 2 between district and the state championship events. So 2 additional hours minimum. I would recommend a lot more than that, but we only require 2 extra hours, and they have to be signed off on by your certified coach. Also, rule book. This changes from year to year. Be familiar with it. You can find this on our website, extension.msstate.edu, or you can request a hard copy from your extension agent there in your county. But with that, good luck and safe shooting.